motel life, waiting for the water to stop running so you can film a video. Hey guys, it's Bernadette and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm being a little bit random. I'm in a motel room. I'm not looking the best because it is the day after a massive party. But my good friend Nicole married Dan and it was a beautiful night. And yeah, so let's get into this week's video. This is the Face of Australia nude palette. Long story short, I found myself in Big W during a massive kind of friends and family sale time, and I got excited when I saw this palette because it looked like it could be like a mini dupe of the Chocolate Bar palette, which I absolutely love. The shade differences are more than I thought they would be. I did think, I mean, if you look at this, you know, just off the bat, you think, okay, there might be a few things in here. So the first one that got my attention was that cream shade. This one and this one. And I thought, oh yeah, that'll be good. And the payoff is very, very different. The next one that got my attention was the gold and the gold. And the Chocolate Bar's gold is very well known. It's one of my favorite colors. And again, they're not quite the same hit by any means. And then there was my favorite shade in the palette, which is this olive green at the top. And I thought, wow, I've got an olive green in this too. This is going to be great. And then of course there's a whole bunch of browns in here, and there's many transition shades that you would think that these two could actually work as dupes. So to be honest, let's get into, this might be a bit haphazard, but there's not much payoff in this, is there? I mean, nothing. I've had these swatches on for 5 minutes, not long at all. And I've actually found these shadows really hard to work with. Before we even hit the colour dupes and things like that, or what isn't a dupe, the only way that I could get these shadows to pick up was on the actual sponge applicator that came with the palette. I mean, that is the most odd thing, really, that the brushes just would not pick up the colours here. Now there is one fairly reasonable shade, but then having seen this after 5 minutes, I'm like, actually maybe it's not that reasonable at all. And I am wearing quite a bit of the gold. So if I get the gold out of here, this one, it shows up quite nice. It's actually a really pretty shade, and I'll just put it over its other swatch. And look, there's potential there. There really is. It just does not stay on. So you'd absolutely need a primer for this to get anything out of this look, because that's quite pretty, but it's not anywhere near the same kind of gold tone that is in the Chocolate Bar palette. They look very similar to the eye at first glance, but if I were to go ahead and swatch the Chocolate Bar one, and I'll just put it here just because they're two very different golds. And the Chocolate Bar one, I didn't pick up much product, and that is just a nice strong swatch. This one, I don't know where it'll be in 5 minutes time, which is kind of disappointing, but I know that if I swatch the Chocolate Bar palette in my lunch break for any reason, or if I'm out and about, anything from Too Faced, I'm back at my desk later in the day and I can still see the swatch quite strongly. So that was actually really disappointing that swatch disappeared on me. But the colours are very different. This is warmer and I'd say almost bronzier, the Chocolate Bar one, and this one is quite a bright gold, and it would be really great if it lasted all day. Even though I thought there was initially quite a few dupes in this palette, I just think I should show you one more that really let me down. And it is really because in the palette, this colour is this kind of browny, greeny gold. You can definitely see big bits of gold glitter in that, in this one, which is a little bit of a turn off, but this is original price, $15, and in Australia, this is in the $75 range, I think $73, $75. So if you could get away with this, why wouldn't you? However, this colour does not even come off similar to what is in the pan, let alone trying to match to something else. So here it is here, and you think, oh wow, it's not so bad, it's okay. But I'm sorry, I'm showing you that terribly actually. And you can see or maybe in here you can't see the flecks of glitter, but this is much, much darker on the finger. And you're thinking, okay, not so bad. And then if I swatch it back over its spot here, it's really, really light compared to what you can take off with your finger. Like, it just doesn't transfer, and I found the same. It doesn't transfer onto the eye as well as what you can possibly get off your finger. And to me, the colour is actually, I think it's quite different. But I don't think that's showing up on camera so well. They look quite similar on camera. But I swear, looking at it, this is very, very gold, very, very green. And I'm just getting a brown on my hand, a mauvey kind of brown. If this palette actually had some really good color pigment and payoff and staying power, it would actually be amazing. There is a fantastic mix of shimmers and mattes and darker browns to really get a bit of depth to the eye, but it does leave a lot to be desired. This shade here, which I guess you'd call a very light nudie pinky brown, it just doesn't swatch too much. It really doesn't swatch too much at all. I've also found that this dark brown looks great again on the finger, but I can promise you the swatch was here originally and it was a bit chalky, a bit patchy really. And if I go over it again, you will get the pigment. So overall, I did find that I can use this palette, but it'll take you forever. It will take you so long to get a look out of this palette because you have to keep packing on color. You have to do it multiple times to blend. I don't think the blending is that great. You can actually blend the shadow away, which is not what you want to do at all. So overall, I found this really disappointing, and it's such a shame because I really had high hopes for it. I thought this would be an amazing palette. And look, they're trying to do the right thing. They've marked which shade should go in which part of the eye as a suggestion. So there's actually 2 quads in here is the way that they see it. I absolutely have to mix and match. I found that I do have slightly stronger shades in here than others. So the ones that I like are the 2 shimmery shades in the middle here, if they can last. And I also quite enjoy the browns on this side. But if you were actually looking for a lighter colour, you will not get the payoff. And I know I'm pretty fair-skinned and you can't see light colours on me easily, but it's actually pretty bad. Just for giggles, I'm going to just re-swatch some of the darker shades that come off initially. And I'm going to come back. I've got to pack up this motel room. I've got to, we've got to check out and stuff. But just before we check out and all that, and there's a good maybe hour before we go, I'm going to come back and show you how well these swatches actually lasted. Because, the original swatch, it was only one attempt. And if you do see this palette and you think, okay, it's not that bad, maybe, pardon me, I'm just trying to make sure the swatches are clean, maybe, it could be something that actually isn't too bad, as long as I know that I've got to put it on forever. So I am trying to get the swatch to build. So I'm only focusing on the darker colours, to be honest. I'm not even going to bother with the lighter colours. I have no faith in them whatsoever. But the darker colours in this palette actually look pretty to the eye when you are just looking at the palette itself. God, that one's patchy. Okay, so I've decided to focus on the 5 shades you can see here. And if I were to hold that up in similar fashion, you can see here, it's the top 3 that you're looking at right now, up here, and then just 2 shades at the bottom. So I'm going to go do some other things, pack up my motel room, and the swatches will give you an idea of the lasting power, because on the eye, I really had to work. And I've actually got these shades on my eye today, and I don't think you can see much, so yeah. Meh. Anywho guys, I'll be back shortly. Hey guys, I'm back. It hasn't quite been an hour, but we are about to leave, so and enjoy the rest of the weekend, get the big breakfast that we need to cure the hangover. But what I didn't mention about these shades is that I find that not only do I have to use the sponge applicator, but I also need to spray Fix Plus all over them to really get anything out of them, and I haven't done that for these swatches. But here we are about 40 minutes later, and you can see that although with the second coat there is definitely more definition of the colours, it fades really quickly. There's the luster isn't there, and that's what you like when you look at them. You get attracted to the luster, and it's just not there. This is the first product that I've tried from Face of Australia, and if you're a huge fan of this brand, please don't think that I'm trying to, you know, just poop all over it on purpose. I'm not. I did go in with very high expectations, so that is my fault. I do prefer high-end shadows. I do try and keep everything budget, but I do believe in investing in really good eyeshadows. I just don't recommend this. I just think you're better off with, I don't know, a L'Oreal Quad, you know, that's just got a few less colours, but the pigmentation will last all day. And this one, I just don't feel it's going to be that great. The luster's gone. There'll be some evidence of something there if you work at it, if you don't blend it out too much, and if you find that you have the time to build it up. So if you actually have the time to work with this, you might actually enjoy this. For me, I just don't have that kind of time in my day. I need to have a look work in about 5 minutes, and I can achieve that with my higher end balm and Too Faced shadows. This one, I just feel like you've got to work at it too much, and then you can actually blend it away by accident by just trying to get the look correct. And you're not doing anything more than what you would usually do in your blending, but it does just disappear. So I am looking forward to trying other items from Face of Australia. I know that their primer is meant to be as good as a Napoleon Perdis primer, and if you go on their Facebook page, everyone is talking about how much they are trying to track down a particular face powder because it must be quite the you know, cult product. So I will try more of their stuff, but I'm not going to rush back to their eyeshadows. I'll probably go for lip products and those kind of things next, where, you know, if you have to reapply a lip product, it's not the end of the world. It's almost normal. So anywho, my husband's back and we've got a breakfast waiting for us somewhere. And have a great week, guys. And I look forward to talking to you again soon about more products. Bye.